Good evening, everyone, and Star Saber here once again. Tonight we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of an overview of a strategy that's recently been shared in line for Geonosian territory battles. So, what we're looking at here is what was recommended. If you haven't seen it online, we are looking at our two sectors that are available to us. What's typically recommended in the top here is if we're looking at the first combat mission, it is recommended to use not Night Sisters like I put there, but actually bounty hunters, either with a Django or a Bosk lead. Now, this one, of course, is all Geonosian, so there's very little, only so many people can do it. I'm actually going to show it to you tonight. Now, we've already finished both of our platoon missions. Good job, everyone, on that. That can make a huge difference later on down the line in how much we have to face up against. I won't, unfortunately, be able to do the special mission. I do not have all the characters at 6 star that I need yet. I still need the my B2 or my B1 droids to be up there. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and work this. So now, being that this is a little more difficult, it's always worth checking if you can make your teams just a little bit stronger. So the first team we're going to look at is Geonosians. Now, tonight, I just happened to pick up enough Omegas to pick up our first Zeta for Geonosian Brood Alpha. Now, there's two options available to you. There's the Geonosian Swarm, which is a leadership ability that adds damage to for each buffed enemy. That's not what I'm going to use. What I'm actually going to use is Queen's Will here. That gives us a pre-taunting tank at the start of the battle. Should make my team a little more resilient theoretically. So I'm going to go ahead and purchase that for this event, and you can see it as it plays out. I've usually only gotten about 1 for 4 in this combat mission, but now we're going to try it with this new Zeta and see if it helps us out a little bit. I've also been able to bring up my Brood Alpha a little bit, just recently 7-starred it. Working on that Gear 12, not quite there yet. So it doesn't really make sense at this point to drastically change mods on him. But on Poggle Lesser, I can go ahead and I can bring in some extra special mods because he is Gear 12. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up some of my raid mods for this, because what that'll do is that'll have your most powerful mods for the battle, and it'll actually make your characters just a little bit stronger for the actual deployment itself that occurs at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and plop this on him. I'm not going to change the rest of my mods around here. They're going to have to be sufficient to do whatever they do. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of credits to get there, but at least for this moment, I'm trying to bring in the best mods on Pog of Lesser. So I'm going to start that Geonosian territory battle. Requires all of the above characters. We're going to go ahead and do that. And unfortunately, it makes Pog Lesser a requirement for this as the leader. So that's not something I'm going to take advantage of as well. But at least I'm going to still have that, which is another reason not to get that Zeta leader ability too. But at least we'll get to see what having that pre-taunting tank at the outset, how that plays into things. So now we're going to start us off here. I have a little bit of advantage, see, because my Poggle has all that extra speed from mods. I'm going to get to throw on something on him right at the outset. So I'm going to go ahead and select my Brood Alpha. Now, what I should be doing here is keeping an eye on certain things. Now, we have the Medic is one of the more dangerous characters out here. That's one you want to keep an eye on. You want to try to kill it quickly, because while it's alive, it can res things. And you can see just having the extra Geonosians present can make a huge difference in the damage output. So I'm going to go ahead and keep working that. Pull a Geonosian spy in there. And good, we finished the Medic, so that should probably secure us this round more than likely. Maybe not the whole thing, but at least we'll get a good start here. Now, we've already got the taunting tank, so what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to go after Clone Trooper, because remember, Sunfac with the primary ability, Browbeat, it actually dispels some buffs. So we'll start with him. try to stealth whenever you can with the Geonosis Spy, or use the ability here, because all you're trying to do is kill these off as quickly as possible. And Geonosis Spy is actually one of your bigger hitters. So now, Conscription dispels all debuffs, don't really need it. And Summon a Geonosis Bro, don't need that. Now, we also have Goliath Sweep, which dispels all buff on all enemies and deals physical damage to all enemies, expose them for 2 turns. Then remove 15% turn meter for all debuff enemies. That sounds like a pretty good move for use here. We'll go ahead and pop that one, clear all the buffs, and keep working this team. Clone Troopers and Sharpshooters are very important targets to try to take out quickly. The Sharpshooters do a lot of the damage. They can very quickly one-shot certain characters, so you want to try to get that out quickly. Now, last, we're back to the Guardian and the Trooper. We're going to go ahead and just wipe out this Trooper. You can see it's actually going fairly smoothly, all considered. We don't seem like we're having much of a struggle here. Just keep in mind, things will become drastically harder as we progress here. So for now, we're just going to continue doing this. Try to take out what we can. And there we go. Move on to the next stage of the battle. So now we go here. We already got our taunting tank up, so we're going to look at who's available to us. We have a Clone Sergeant, and we have a Clone Captain. Clone Sergeant's a lot of AoE damage. That's something we probably want to take out fairly quickly with the Geonosian team, because AoE damage is actually one of the more difficult things to overcome here. So keep working him. Ability block will keep him from using that AoE ability. That will keep my Geonosian team alive as long as we possibly can. Okay, so now we're going to have to keep on the Clone Captain for now to dispel that buff, but at least we have with Geonosians the ability to take it away, and we'll keep on working our way around here. Don't really need to stagger at this point. We're just going to clear the buffs, keep working the Kit Fisto here, keep working our way around the squad. As you can see, having that pre-counting tank has made this quite a bit easier. It looks like a very strong Zeta. I can't credit myself. I recommend Held for saying this is a good one. So that's actually where I decided to get that from. I was already kind of on the fence about it, but in this context, I think it's probably the way to go, because it seems to be making a lot of difference. As you can see, we are looking like we're going to hit 244 strong without much resistance at this point, so we can just keep working our way around this battle. Very important you keep working your Geonosians for this fight, because this is, as you can see, it can make a huge difference. It's the only one available at this point, and they actually can be a very powerful team. It's not like they'll let you down and they suck. They're actually very good. So we're going to keep working our way around here. So now we already see the medic out front here, so that's something to be aware of. That's something that needs to die quickly, so we'll go ahead and start working him right out the outset. Now, probably going to lose the Brute here, but that's okay. Oh, we lost our Spy very quickly. Now you can see they're starting to hit a lot stronger, a lot faster. That was an AoE there that just took that out. So now, we're going to keep working our way around here. So not quite as strongly off as we were before. That's okay, though. We'll keep working our way around this team, try to get as far as we can, but you can see how devastating some of these characters can be. You just got to try to get through as far as you can. As we go here, we'll learn some tactics. Okay, you can see we just lost our Brood Alpha and our guards, so that's going to make things a little bit more difficult. I don't think sharpshooters pretty much one-shotting everybody. So this is good indication of why it's important to try to keep gearing these Geonosians up. Still, not too bad. 3 out of 4. Not perfect. I'm sure there are people out here who have better gear, better mods that are doing better. But it's a start. It's a respectable 297, almost 300,000 and that's on top of the 82,000 we got for deploying that squad. So that's pretty good. That's a good start to our score here. Nothing too fantastic. Now we're going to look at that next combat mission. The recommendation there is bounty hunters. So again, what I'm going to do is going to do the same thing. Look at the squads I have. My Django isn't very leveled yet, but I do have 4 Gear 12 characters, so I want to make sure they're very well modded. Now I have decent mods on Bosk. They're not horrible, but I'm going to go ahead and bring something a little bit better because I do have Gear 12 mods. I'm going to look at what's available to me. Probably going to use what I put on my General Grievous mod, which is a lot of health and not a lot of speed. Although in this case, probably not. Now I'm thinking about it. I want it to be a little bit faster because it is Bosk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull up another squad that I have available, which is General Kenobi. A lot of tenacity there. That'll make him very tenacious, and as you can see, pretty fast too. That'll make Boss get a lot of turns, and he'll be pretty beefy at the outset. Maybe not perfect. I'm not going to take a lot of time to figure this out here. Boba Fett, pretty heavy hitter, and it helps to have a lot of potency. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in one of my arena teams here, which is my Hermit Yoda setup. That's got a lot of potency and a lot of speed. That'll give Boba Fett a lot of turns. He'll have 281 speed. Won't have as much crit damage, but in this case, I just want him to go often as I can. Dengar, I'm just going to make him fast, so I'm going to put on my Geonosis Revan set. Again, having all these 6-dot mods on this team will make it a little beefier for when it deploys, and there's nothing stopping you from deploying it with the best mods that you have when you have them available. So I'm going to go ahead and with Greedo, I'm going to use my Hermit Yoda set, or not my Hermit Yoda set, my Grandmaster Yoda set, which is a high crit damage, high crit chance, so when he counterattacks and gets multiple attacks, he can hit like a truck. And last but not least, I'm going to bring in my Cad Bane, who is not Gear 12 yet, so I'm not going to affect his mods any. So we're going to move into this, give it a try, see how we do. Before I was getting 4 out of 4 on Night Sisters. If we can do that here with this team, it'll look like a pretty strong recommendation. But I have yet to try this out configuration, so you get to see with me here. So if this works great, you can say I'm awesome. You can admit it. If it doesn't work out very well, this is Cheeky Scar strategy, so I'm just gonna lay the blame on her. But we'll see how this goes. So now, of course, with bounty hunters, what you want to do is focus on getting the payout. Now we have a pretty decent potency on Boba Fett that will give a lot of ability blocks here. Always cast the taunt on Bosk as soon as you get the chance, because that gives him turns every time someone else gets a chance. Keep the focus on, try to build off that contract as quickly as possible. Oh, I did not mean to bring Zam Wesleyan here. Not a big deal. Where I put Cad Bane, I think it could still work out. Might even work out better. We'll see if these thermal detonators serve to be a benefit or a net detriment here. In PvE experience, they can actually be pretty potent, because she can get a lot of turns that way. As you can see, we already have our contract up. That's going to help us pretty considerably at this point. So we're just going to keep working our way around. And nice thing about Zam Wesleyan, she can add more thermal detonators into the mix, get a lot of turn meter. Again, use the boss taunt whenever you get a chance, because you want to make sure that you're getting him as much as possible. When you get Zam Wesleyan and she has thermal detonators up and you don't have a taunt in the way, go ahead and keep popping those thermal detonators so you can pop up some more. Move around to boss, keep focusing the medic. The medic's always a priority target for you. That on top of the sharpshooters. So you don't see any sharpshooters at this point. You see a couple of troopers. Those are mostly tanks. That's okay at this point. We're not in a lot of danger this round. That comes later. That comes when we have more sharpshooters and we have medics that are reviving things and just losing control of the battle, because things will move very fast. They'll hit very hard. That's just something to be aware of. Try to do as best you can and keep working your way around the battle. Now we'll go ahead and keep popping. Try to take out as many of those assassinates that if you can get them. Those will help the battle. I'm not going to use a taunt here because so low on health it'll probably take down with a Sam Whistle shot. Boom. So now we're in stage 2, working well so far. But then again, this will get drastically harder. So we have to be aware. We have a sharpshooter, and we have a commander, and we have a captain. So sharpshooter is probably our biggest priority because it hits hard, does a lot of damage. We want to try to get it out of there as quickly as possible because he could be most likely to one-shot Bosk. Now, one thing you'll notice here is tenacity gets very high. That's going to be a problem. And as you can see, he's starting to do armor shreds. That makes a big deal. That can very quickly make him more susceptible to these hits. You want to try to get this sharpshooter out as quickly as you can. Seems to be okay so far. Pop up some crit there from Greedo. Keep working your way around. Good. We got the sharpshooter out of the way. That'll make things a little more fluid. Don't have to worry about any of those insta-kill shots that the sharpshooter's going to put out. So then we just have to work our way around this. Bounty hunters are pretty resilient with the Bosk. We don't have to worry about them too much if we don't have those insta-kill shots. But we'll just keep on our normal bounty hunter strategy. If you have Django, that's going to change the dynamic for good ways and bad ways. The good way is you'll get a lot of the abilities to keep reviving yourself. So that's just something to be aware of. But when I get my Django Fett a little higher, I might try that out and show it separately. For now, we're just going to work with this team as best we can. Looking pretty strong so far. Keep on the taunts every time you got Bosk, even with Armor Shred. He's still the one that's going to be best equipped to take the damage. Okay, good. We're down to the last Guardian. 9 thermal detonators. He's looking like he's about to get popped. Boom. Down. So now we're in progress stage 3. So what do we got in front of us? We have a medic. We have a trooper. We have Kit Fisto. And we have Vanguard. So we know there's AoE damage. And we know there's revives. First thing you want to do is start focusing on the revives. Got a decent amount of potency on Boba Fett. That helps our circumstances pretty significantly. Keep working our way around this medic. Try to get him out as quickly as we can. We don't want the medic in here reviving anything once we start killing things. Got a taunt. Perfect time for Doritos ability. And then we can start popping our way around this team and get some more thermal detonators with Sam Whistle. Okay. Looking solid so far. Got some more thermal detonators. If we get a stun, keep the medic out of the fight as much as we can. Have enough time for a taunt, which is also good. If we can do this assassinate, not quite enough at this point. That's understandable. But we did manage to stun this opponent, and we might actually be able to pop off our medic with a thermal detonator pretty quickly anyway. Not quite yet, it seems. Keep working our way around this battlefield. A little bit of damage there. I could have taken advantage there and finished off our medic. I don't think that'll be a absolutely critical loss, but it's going to not help my case any. You want to try to get that medic out of there in a quick fashion. So there he goes. So now that's out of the way. Put the taunt up on Boss. Keep him taking most of the damage. Get as many assassinates as you can when you can. Work our way around this battle. You can see bounty hunters are doing pretty well. It was a pretty solid suggestion. Good job, Chief Spar, for suggesting this configuration. It seems to be working so far. Doesn't seem to be having a whole lot of issues. And I feel like we're relatively controlled in this battle so far. Round 4 will be a sticking point. Could go very quickly, badly, or we could control the fight. There's a lot of factors we can't control going into it. For now, we're just going to finish this guy off with basics, have as much of our abilities as ready for the next final encounter, because this will be the point where we make or break ourselves. Now, we're looking around. We have a sharpshooter, a trooper, Rex, an arc trooper, and a vanguard. So we got a lot of damage dealers here. That's something to be aware of. We'll work Rex for now. And these guys get a little bit of stealth as well. So that's something that's going to impact your ability to do as much as you prefer. These sharpshooters, you got to watch them real carefully. They get an ability to basically a boss ability. Now they're going to be focusing their efforts on Bosk very soon, so that's something to be aware of. I don't want the counterattacks here, so I'm going to go ahead and work the Vanguard. Not a lot of good options here with all these taunting tanks and these sharpshooters in the way. You can see we're starting to get the armor shreds. It's going to be a big risk for us. It may be enough to one-shot Bosk in the future. Not quite. Okay. He survived pretty well that time, but the more attacks they get, the more risk he's going to get. So those things to be aware of. Gotten Greedo's ability to remove taunts. Very handy here. You can see how this can be useful. Unfortunately, though, we also have our tenacity up. That's going to create some issues further down the line. You want to get rid of that if you can. You can see Bosk is now down, so you can see how quickly this can turn on you just from the nature of having all these taunts in the way, things like that, keeping you from final victory. So, probably going to get 3 for 4 this round. Tenacity's very high, speed's very high. You can only do so much under these circumstances. Now, maybe there's something I could have done differently for this round. It may just be that, in this case, I was not equipped enough, or could just be bad RNG. It's really hard to say at this point. We're going to lose this at this round, but that's how we learn too. We can't learn these fights if we don't practice at them, and in this case, it's just not going to probably go our way. We'll do what we can. We're not going to give up. Keep focusing in until the very last. You still got the Bounty Hunter's Resolve up on Boba Fett. That will keep him around a little longer, but he's got the armor shred. He's going to get taken out. Boom. Okay, so you can see we're only get so far here, and then you lose control of the battle. They armor shred you, and they just tear you up pretty much at that point. So 3 for 4. Not as good as I did historically on the Night Sisters, but that's again how we learn. So finish the job here. Okay, 3 for 4. Not perfect. Not my favorite. Might have been gearing again. Might be mods again, but we did mod this team pretty well. So jury's out on whether that's a good selection. It did pretty well. 3 for 4 is not horrible. Could have done better. So you have to decide for yourself. Now what we got here is we've got 2 teams. The recommendations here are Traya, and in the lower tier, what I'm going to use is Mother Talzin's Night Sisters. So the first thing I'm going to do is Traya. So I'm going to look at a good Traya squad. Now, they do also include things like Darth Revan in there, but in my experience, Darth Revan tends to be a little squishy. So we're going to take a look at what's on my roster, see what's available, and try to decide what makes the best decision. So first of all, Traya. Now, Traya, I think it makes sense, again, try to make her as fast as possible with a lot of potency. So I'm going to put the Hermit Yoda mods on her. Make her as fast, make her speed up to 267, give her a lot of potency. Hopefully that will have a lot of control of the fight that way. Nihilus, because he is only gear 11 for me, that's going to be a big limiting factor. I don't think I'm going to get as much out of him here. Scion, I'm going to basically put the same mods I put on Bosk before. A lot of survivability, a lot of tenacity there. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that over here. Another option would be to go all health, like what I have for Julie Bindo. For this time, I'm just going to go with this option. So now we look at other options that are on the table for us. Bastila Shan Fallen's a very good one. What I'm going to do with her is I'm going to make her very fast because I want her to get off her debuff Corrupted Battle Meditation early, and she also reinforces Traya, who will be the lead. She'll make her pretty fast, and we'll give her an opportunity to go a little earlier. And who I do last, that's a good question. There are some options available. I could go Darth Revan. I could go a tank like the Sith Trooper. In fact, that's what I think I will do, try to trade survivability for some of the other options that are on the table. We'll try that out. May not be perfect, but Traya tends to do pretty well in these, so we'll see how it does in this instance. So we go ahead and clear out the squads that I have. Bring over all the Sith tunes. Start with Traya, Bastila Shan Fallen. Get the rest of the Triumvirate in there. Sith Trooper may or may not work well for us. I haven't been spending a lot of time gearing on Sith, so if it doesn't do very well, that's more likely part of the problem. We'll try to play with it as we go along here, because it's possible we can do pretty well regardless. And we're going to see with this team how well that might do. Now, with this team, I'll probably go ahead and isolate the captain. That'll keep him from benefiting the rest of his team. Send this over to Scion. Now, as you can see, they're starting to armor shred already. Those sharpshooters are dangerous. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Might not have been the best idea to bring the Sith Trooper in here, because the sharpshooters tend to shred them pretty much anyway. We're going to keep working it anyway, because we might be able to pull this off. And if we can just get it through this, survive this round, that'll prolong our survivability a little longer. Don't really have any buffs to clear with Nihilus, so we're just going to keep working that. Keep cooling down his Annihilate. Try to get those sharpshooters out quickly. If those sharpshooters aren't out quickly, that can be the end of the battle right there. Okay, still have our Sith Trooper in there. That's a good sign. That working pretty well so far. Don't have our clone captain providing much help, which was the idea of getting that isolate in there. And the damage done to Sith Trooper at this point is not negligible, but it's much lessened. So we'll try to go ahead and keep working our way around. Save our cooldown abilities for Nihilus for next round, because having Nihilus, of course, gives you the wild card where you can very quickly take out a dangerous opponent quickly. It's best to use it on one that you don't want to last very long. So keep working our way around, start to hit with basics, use our Held by Hatred on Scion. That'll give us a lot more tank survivability here, make us last a little bit longer. Keep working on our clone captain. Just keep working them down with basics to this point, so we have all of our abilities at our disposal when we need them. Now, getting to phase 3 here. Nice thing about having this fast is we also get a lot of fear in the field quickly. That will allow us to control the battle more quickly. We have a medic. We'll go ahead and put the isolate on him, and we'll feed over some ability to Scion. Now that we got him, who is our threats? We got a sharpshooter. We'll go ahead and clear that with an Annihilate. That will reduce the danger to our team immensely. We don't have those armor shreds any longer. That will make us last a little longer, so we can keep working our way around the field. All these debuffs, they will start to take their toll. Should be able to clear out this clone lieutenant fairly quickly here. Suck as much, get that Annihilate cooldown back up as quickly as possible. Get dazes out there when you can. Drop fear bombs when you can. Clear buffs when you can, and put some more pain in the field. Keep a lot of the focus on Scion. That will make your team a little bit more survivable. Take out the heavy hitters. If the heavy hitters don't die, your team will be much more at risk, and the damage scales up pretty dramatically as you go here. Now we'll work our Guardian. Shouldn't be a lot of threat to this team this round, so we should be able to make it in the third round okay. We'll know in a second here how much longer. Not going to drop any fear bombs at this point. We're not in really any danger from these two characters. Should be able to finish this round without subjecting our team to any more danger. We can, of focus on the next one, have our Annihilate ready, hopefully bring it in at the key moment where we're in serious danger. And just keep working our way through this medic. Held by hatred again. Alright, we got our success. We're in round 3 here. And again, with a pretty fast Treya, we have a pretty fast isolate. Get the medic out of the play. I'll go ahead and pop that over to our Sith Trooper. Get some fear in the field. Now that you can see we're starting to see our armor shreds, that's something to be aware of. That's going to put us at risk. Okay. We can take this guy out pretty quickly. We don't have to necessarily, though. We can take away his taunt, keep working him with Nihilus, but what we really want to do is we want to get these troopers out. Get these sharpshooters, taken out quickly. That'll keep our Sith Trooper for the next round. We'll go ahead and hit Cody out of play. Keep working the sharpshooter. Drop a fear bomb on the team. Keep working on this sharpshooter, get him out of the play. Once he's out of the play, we have a lot more control of the battle space. Keep working that Annihilate back up. Hopefully we'll have it again by the time we get to the next round before we kill the medic. Since we add a lot of speed into Nihilus, that will help our chances pretty dramatically here. But it's probably not going to be enough. We'll keep doing basics, trying to keep the damage to this guy low and keep hitting because we want to have as many of our cooldowns available for round 4 as we can get. Not quite all of them, but we have a final encounter. We should be able to bring out some of our heavy hitting abilities. And nicely, we have Treya ready to go. So we take a look around. Clone Trooper, Pawns, Clone Trooper, Medic. Medic, always get the Medic isolated if we can. And we'll pop that on Sith Trooper so he has a little bit of counterattack. Now, if you see a buff in the field, best thing to do with Nihilus is clear it. That will give you a little bit more capability here. A lot of danger our Sith Troopers in at this point. A lot of tough opponents here. Clear out the buffs every chance you get. Scion's very good at that. Try to cool down your Annihilate as much as you can so we can keep working our way around the field. Okay, we just lost our Sith Trooper, so that's something that's going to be a problem. But I don't think that's necessarily the end of this battle yet. Okay, we'll go ahead and with our Nihilus, we'll go ahead and take out Mace Windu. That should make the battle considerably safer on our edge. Maybe not win at the battle for us yet. That's something to be aware of. But it'll make us a little bit safer than we might have been otherwise. And you just got to keep on working on around the battle space, trying to take out a lot of these team members wherever we can. Get ourselves, clear those buffs when we can. Drop a fear bomb if we can. Didn't really help us much. Clear out bad guys as quickly as possible, especially the heavy hitters. Heavy hitters should always be your priority. And it's no guarantee. These are tough, very tenacious opponents. You just have to be patient, not lose your head. Keep the medic isolated. That will keep him from reviving anybody. Keep working our way around the battle space. Hopefully we'll see an Annihilate before too long. Okay, drop a fear bomb if we can. Didn't help much, but at least having corrupted battle meditation in the field does a lot for us. We'll go ahead and take out the clone commander. Work our way around. Maybe work the clone troop a little bit, clear some buffs off with Scion. If it wasn't obvious already, you can start to see why Triumvirate can be a very powerful asset for this battle. Get a lot of that health from Treya, a lot of survivability from Vastilishan Fallen. We can keep working. The ones we get isolated, don't have to worry about them too much, so we'll just keep on working on pawns here. Shock them down if we can. Should be finishing this up here pretty shortly. Then we'll go ahead and just fire up the auto and finish off this battle. So we can see Treya was a very good decision. Good job, Cheeky. It wasn't a big secret. We knew Treya does pretty well. But here you can see it got 4 out of 4, and that includes the mace window in the field. Now, the last battle. This could go a lot of different ways. It could go very poorly if I use Night Sisters, but I don't have Bounty Hunters, which is my other strong option here, available to me, and I don't really have anything geared. But you want to do, if you're going to do it, set yourself up for success. So we're going to go ahead and re-gear up our Night Sisters, try to make them as beefy and as fast as possible. So we'll go ahead and look at our Night Sister roster. Of course, we got Asajj Ventress. She already has a strong set of mods. A set of mods I like on her, high on offense. Got a little tenacity in there as well. I believe there's a lot of crit damage in there as well. Not the full, but she gets cranked up by that vengeance. Mother Talzin, we're going to go ahead and put on that tenacity set. So we're going to, that we have for Yoda, Hermit Yoda. Bring her into the fight that way. Now, Zombie. Lots of options for her. You can make her healthy. You can make her fast. In this case, I'm going to make her very fast. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up Genonite Revens. Mod set. Get her as fast as possible because I want her to keep the focus on her most of the time. And that will be a big factor involved. Now, I got some options available. I have Daka. And you want to make her nice and healthy. So what I'm going to do is I got a set designed specifically for General Grievous. It's got a lot of health on it. That will throw her health up almost near 60,000. That will make her heals do a lot more damage, and that'll stack up with her Zeta as well. Last but not least, I'm going to use Talia. We'll keep the extra heal in the field. A lot of options you can go with here. And the reason I just want to go with this one is I want to make sure that I try to keep my hits hard, but I also want to keep my team up as much as I can. So I'm going to try this out. Throw the Grandmaster Yoda, so it's high crit damage and crit chance. And hopefully that will help heal up a lot of the damage when she attacks with her basic ability. So that's going to be our Night Sister team for this lineup. We'll see if it works. I usually use this on top. And I think there's going to be a risk in Phase 4 because I believe this is also where we get Panawa and Anakin here somewhere, but maybe we'll get lucky. I think there might be some RNG to that as well. We'll find out here shortly. Put in our Night Sister team. Night Sister team. Mother Talzin's a pretty strong lead. We'll always get in the big 4, and then it's really just the last 4 that you have to decide. A lot of people have good luck with Spirit. My Spirit isn't quite geared as much yet, so I want this team to be as beefy as possible. So that's what we're going to go with all G12 characters. Okay, again, we look at what's in the field. Got a Sharpshooter. We got Captain. Probably want to focus on the Sharpshooters first. We'll try to stun one. No luck there. And keep in mind our zombie's pretty fast, so she'll be putting out a lot of plague. And she'll be building up a lot of our a lot of her other abilities. Talia will just use a basic here, getting some armor shred. Okay, that's always something to look out for when you got some AoEs in the field. Night Sisters are very susceptible to AoEs when they use them, so you want to make sure if you got an AoE threat out there, you try to take it out as quickly as possible. Now we have to clear that taunt to do it. Now we get the Jedi Vanguard. Okay, so that makes that a priority target. Now if you got Herring with Salt on Talia, if she's got damage already, she can have some extra buffs. It also does some extra buffs there too. So we'll go ahead and throw up the extra plague in the field. Doesn't hurt. Keep that taunt up on zombie. Try to plague the team down as quickly as you can. Now health back, that's going to be a concern. You want to keep working that, but if it's not gone yet, you can keep working around the field. Okay, lose our zombie, but that's okay. It'll come back. And that'll build up Rampage on Ventress as well. If you get a good call to assist ability, try to find one that's a big threat and take it out quickly. Now, good to go there. Keep our working our way around the field. Clone Captain, work on him for a bit. Fortunately, we're not getting a lot of the speed bonuses on Night Sister Zombie. That can be very helpful in future rounds. Might be able to get one here. Good, we got a speed bonus. That's always helpful to keep that taunt alive as long as you can. And then we'll be ready for the next round with one extra speed bonus. Progress 2 of 4. Happen to have a ready plague ready to get up here. And a lot of it went out, so we got some sharpshooters and a medic. Now the medic is our priority here. We want to get that stunned or out of the battle as much as possible, because that's where revives come in. We don't want those to happen very often. So we're going to go ahead and keep on working that medic as much as we can. And now Talia has less than perfect health. That'll give her a second hit with a basic. Try to bring up that health as much as possible, because another basic could very quickly change the tide of the battle. We want to get that medic out as quickly as possible. Zombie's still taking stuff like a champ. Okay, so now there goes their resurrecting ability. So now that'll give us some options. We also have the sergeants to be concerned with. That's AoE ability. We don't want that to be around for very long, so we want to get rid of those as quickly as we can. You can see it just took out Tally in a single shot, but we have to keep working on it. Unfortunately, the zombie also ate that res as well. And if worst case scenario, we have Daka gonna have a lot of stacked health. Hopefully should make our longevity even a little bit better. Try to bring this team down some basics at this point. Heal up where we can. Got ourselves even more speed with Night Sister Zombie. That'll keep her taunting often. It's always a good sign. Work our way around the team. Bring us into round 3. Round 3, what do we got here? We got a sharpshooter. Got a trooper. We got a sentinel. Sentinel's probably our biggest threat with the AoE. We also have Barris out here. She's going to do a lot of team healing, which may or may not cover the plague. We'll see. And we'll just keep working our way around the battlefield as much as we can. Try to get that sharpshooter out quickly, just in case at the wrong moment we have a down Night Sister Zombie that doesn't have a taunt up and puts us in extremis here. Work our way around the field. Hopefully we can get a Saj up there to clear those buffs. Good. And take out the sharpshooter as quickly as possible, preferably before Barris gets one of her heals off. Looks like we're okay. Looking pretty strong so far. We're still at 3 of the 4. We'll go ahead and do our mass swarm attack on Sentinel. Give her a stun. Keep beating up this team as much as we can. It's going to be tough. It gets more grueling here. The tenacity gets higher. The health gets higher. The damage gets bigger. You got to stay on top of it. Fortunately, the nice thing about Night Sisters is your opponent kind of kills itself eventually. We'll go ahead and take advantage of that. Now we just have Varys and the Sentinel to deal with. And since we don't have any option to take out the Sentinel, we'll keep working Varys until the stealth is gone. Okay, stealth is back. We have to keep working Varys. You could consider using a res here, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to heal up naturally with the other characters. Clear these buffs. That'll also add to our health. We've got Varys almost gone. If we can take that healing out of play, should just be a very quick kill for the Jedi Sentinel. Good. So now in round 4, this is where things can get screwy. So we get round 4, we take a look at the battlefield. Okay, we got Shakti, she's a big threat. Got Luminara, we got the Arc Trooper, and we have our Sergeant. Sergeant's probably our biggest hitter. And our Medic is our Reser, so we want to make sure those become priority targets. Now with Shakti in the mix, you can see there's counters now going up all over the place. With the tenacity down, at least we can get stuns out there. But we'll go ahead and start to beat on Clone Sergeant as much as we can. Try to get some plague in the field, which we did. Okay, that should help out considerably, assuming they don't get all their health brought to full. So now we work on those types of things. Clear some buffs. Unfortunately, we can't work our Sergeant, so we're going to have to work on our Medic. But if we get him out of the gameplay, that should change our odds pretty considerably. We got a Clone Captain with a taunt. So now you can see why the risk is so very high with those AoE in the field. Bring that up. Bring her back alive. I mean, the extra attacks are nice too, but in this case, I just want to make sure we take this out as quickly as we can. And that will involve a lot of plague. We lost our Ventress. That'll give us a little bit more closer, so we can bring them up again. And unfortunately, we still do not have Ventress's steel. So we'll go ahead and give a little bit of that back to Talia. That will take her out again. And our zombie's starting to slow down pretty considerably. If we can take these buffs out of play, that will help our situation pretty considerably. Will the plagues be enough? Hard to be sure. Daka can become a very important asset to this team. Try to focus on the high damage characters as much as possible. Get them stunned. Get them out of play as much as we can. Okay, so we lost Talzin again. And we lost our okay, fortunately we have our Daka. Didn't bring up our Talzin, unfortunately, but we were able to take out one of our major threats. Now, unfortunately, what we still have in the field is our Medic. This is why it's going to be so painful. All we can do is keep working the team. If we can get that Medic down, we might have a fighting chance of victory here. And we have a lot of days in the field. That's not helping our chances very considerably. Fortunately, they seem to want to keep crushing the zombie. That's helping our case a little bit, but until she's gone, we are in a lot of danger. Now, a nice thing with that Talzin Zeta, of course, is you also get to resurrect some allies when some opponents die. That's something to take advantage of. Clear some buffs every chance you get. Bring up your team. Clear it up. Now, this is where Night Sisters are at their strength. You've got them very low. You can start taking them out and bring up your team as necessary. So we're good. Night Sisters worked pretty well here. You can see it was a pretty close battle. But in the end, we managed to push through it. Very important. We want to try to get as many combat missions points as we can. That makes a pretty huge difference. Now, unfortunately, like I mentioned, I cannot do the special mission here. So I'm stuck there. So the last thing I want to do is quality control my roster, make sure that I have mods on most of the important characters that haven't deployed already. So in this case, what I need to do is I need to make sure that Revan has all his old mods back, which is my Jedi Knight Revan set. Want to look around. General Grievous has his set. Because when they deploy, you want to have the max score possible. So he's going to bring that way. Grandmaster Yoda has his set. Hermit Yoda has his set. Because all these are adding points that you'll get for the territories. Make your roster just a little bit fatter. Going down, take a look. General Kenobi, that's another one we want to make sure that we have. So we go ahead over to the set I have for him, put it back on. Taking it off of Scion's no big deal because he's already been deployed and won't be deployed again. So looking at all these characters, they've all been deployed in other areas. So far, yes, looking good. Dengar, Greedo, good. Okay, we don't seem to have any mods missing from any characters we haven't deployed yet. Very important to establish those facts so we don't cost ourselves any unnecessary points. So now, we scroll all the way to the bottom. Okay, we have a missing mod here. Veteran Smuggler Chewbacca. We'll just throw something. Oh, we don't need to throw a mod set. We just need to throw a mod in there. So we just find some generic gold that's not really doing much for anybody else. Good enough for this purpose. Just want to make sure you get as many of the mods in there as possible. So with the characters that haven't deployed yet, so when they do deploy, they deploy as strong as possible. It's not to the extent where I'm going to put a bunch of gold on everybody and keep swapping mods. It's not worth that credit expenditure. You want to try to make these as good footing as you can. Because at the end of the day, you're going to put your roster in there, and that's going to be your final score. You're not going to be able to get any more points. So we're going to go ahead and do it here. Now, always look to where we're at. Now, we have 2 stars up top. We have 2 stars in the bottom. It doesn't really hugely matter at this point. Our difference here is about 21,000, and our difference at the bottom is about 30,000. So we're just going to keep the focus up here, maybe get ourselves a 3rd star. Not necessarily likely, but at least we can give it our best shot. So we select all, got everyone we need, deploy. Won't be able to use those characters, so just go ahead and deploy them. And boom. So did pretty well overall. Not the greatest. You could see our bounty hunters kind of didn't do as well as they could. It wasn't my choice up there normally, but I mean, getting what we got is pretty respectable. Room for improvement, and that'll be done through gear. That'll be done through mods. That'll be done through abilities, all those things. But as you can see here, we came up with a pretty respectable score. The only person who beat me in this one is Ahel. He has a little bit stronger top end on the roster than I do. I have no problem admitting that. But all in all, pretty good first start. So I'd say Cheeky did a good job in sharing that strategy. I think it's something to just keep some tweaks in mind because it's not perfect. It's going to be dependent on your roster, your modding, a lot of different things that you can't control. But give it your best shot. The least amount of points you can get is 0 points. That's not going to help us much. We want to get as many points as we can. Just do what we can. Thank you for watching. For those who haven't seen this already,